hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my September favorites. I think we are long overdue for a favorites video because the last one was filmed back in May, and I've got a couple of updates for you guys. So if you're interested to see the plants that I'll be showing you in this video, then definitely stick around. I don't know if you can tell, but I am filming on my new camera, so please do let me know what you think in the comments below. And before we get into this video, if you're new around here, my name is Grace and I post plant videos every week. So if you're interested in planting content like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you get notified when next week's video is out. First on the list is my Philodendron Plumanii round form that I did show you guys in a couple of my previous videos, which I'll link below if you're interested to check them out. But it is doing really well. It's put out this new leaf right here that is so stunning. It's the perfect heart shape, and if you look at the back sail as well, I've got these really beautiful red color veination running throughout. And the petiole is also a lot redder than this one here, and I think it's because of higher light, because it's now living in my grow tent and it's getting a lot of light exposure, which is also maybe a reason why the leaves are a little bit more yellow and less green. But that's what happens when philodendrons get a little bit more light than usual. But on the upside, it is growing relatively quickly. There is already another growth point down here, and that could be also because spring is here in Australia and the plants are just bursting with new growth. So I'm really excited to see what this one's going to look like by the end of the growing season. Next up is my variegated monstera that hasn't really done very much in the cooler months, but now that it is spring here in Australia, it did give me a new leaf, which is this one right here. It's still a little bit soft and floppy at the moment and a very light shade of green, but when it hardens off, it'll probably look something like this. But just absolutely love the variegation on this one. It's got a huge chunk of sectoral white up here, absolutely gorgeous, and hopefully this growing season will encourage it to give me more than one new leaf, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. So if you're interested in seeing updates on this one, definitely hit that subscribe button. Next up, we have my Mandula Pothos. I haven't really updated you guys on this one in a very long time, but now that it's spring, I did upsize the pot on this one, and I decided to let it trail instead of putting it on a trellis that it was on before. So I find that pothos grow faster when you let it do its thing and let it trail. That's just my observation. It really didn't grow much for me at all when it was on the trellis. So I'm going to try this out and I'll let you guys know how that goes. But I have also decided to hang this up in my grow tent. And what I'm finding is that with the increased light exposure from the grow lights, it started encouraging creamier leaves. So what I mean is leaves like this, that is a pure white sort of variegation on the inside. And I'll show you the other growth point as well. As you can see, it's doing the same thing with creamy white variegation, as opposed to these sort of green speckly leaves that kind of look like a marble queen and not what you want in a Mandula Pothos, because they're known for their scalloped leaves and the white sort of creamy variegation in the middle. So yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like at the minute. You can really appreciate how far it's come. I'll insert some photos of what it looked like when I first got it back in 2019. It was a small little thing. I'll also insert some progress shots so you can see how it's finally got to this stage right here. So now that it's springtime, I'm really hoping that with the upsized pot and everything, it's going to grow a lot more faster for me. So yeah, definitely be interested to show you guys what this is going to look like in a couple of months' time. So that's the update on my Mandula Pothos. It's looking absolutely fine, and I had to include it in my September favorites. And if you guys are enjoying this video so far, please do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps this video spread to more people. And while you're at it, leave me a comment down below and let me know what are your favorites for the month of September. So while we're on the variegation train, I also wanted to update you guys on the variegated heartleaf philodendron. The last I showed you guys, I think it was maybe at the start of the year, in my top 10 favorite philodendrons video. That was even before I chopped it. So yes, I did chop and prop it. I've got several propagations going in my grow tent. And I think maybe I showed you guys that in a propagate with me video. I don't quite remember, but I'll link all of those videos mentioned down in the description box below if you're interested to check them out. But this is where I made the cut, if you can see right here, and it's given me a whole new growth point. Really tiny little leaf initially, but it did gradually get larger and larger. As you can see, I'm really a big fan of this sort of variegation. I think it looks super marbly and beautiful. And as you can see, the size of the leaves also gradually got larger and larger. These two up here are actually still hardening off, which is why it looks a little bit floppy, and also the sides of the leaves are a little bit ridged. But as it hardens off, it will get a little bit more rounded, and yeah, I think it's going to get larger in size as well. So really, really excited to see what this is going to look like at the end of the growing season. So it's definitely grown quite a bit. It's very tall. It's kind of outgrowing its stake as well. So I'm going to have to think about what I want to do with this one. But that's a problem for another time. I'll update you guys when I come to a solution. Next, we've got my Scindapsus pictus tribii Moonlight, which I haven't really shown on my channel as yet, and not quite sure why. I think it's because I wasn't too happy with the older leaves, but I kind of trimmed it a little bit, and this is what it's currently looking like. So this has 3 growth points, as you can tell. One up here that's looking absolutely gorgeous, beautiful large leaves, and it's also got 2 small vines growing right here, which I'm hoping that the leaves will actually get larger because they don't really look as majestic compared to these big beautiful silvery ones up here. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that the humidity in the grow tent is going to help it upsize a little bit more, but I'm really happy with this one right here. So I did move these directly under my grow light, so I'm really hoping that this growing season will see it bush out more. Yeah, so that's the update on this one, and had to include it in my September favorites because it's actually looking pretty good and lush. Next up is my Philodendron Florida Beauty that I did repot in one of my previous videos, and happy to report that it is loving life in MapGrow. It's doing really well. It's already given me this new leaf right here. Really beautiful lime green coloration, and it's also got a new growth point, which I am struggling to show you, but it's this one here. And I feel like it's growing a lot quicker now that it is in MapGrow. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the substrate or whether it has to do more with the springtime. So yeah, that's the update on this one. And just wanted to show you what the aerial roots are doing as well. It is growing like crazy, and it looks like it's begging me to chop and propagate it. So that's something I might do this growing season, just to multiply this plant. Although I do want it to get a little bit more established and matured before I do that, because the leaves are still the juvenile form. And if you have a Philodendron Florida, you'll know what the mature sort of foliage looks like. The what do you call it? The shape is slightly different. So this is definitely the more juvenile version. And funny story, one of the aerial roots actually rooted into a pot next door. So you can see that this one here is full of soil because that's in a different medium. But I did manage to wrangle that free, but I may have actually broken the root. It doesn't really matter. I just wanted to give you an update on this new leaf right here. This is quite a slow growing philodendron in my opinion. Between the Florida Ghost and this one here, they're both very, very slow growing for me, as opposed to my Philodendron Florida, the green form. That one's just taking off, but the variegated counterparts are kind of taking its own sweet time. But anyway, because it's given me a new leaf, I had to include it in this video and share that with you guys. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more planty content, I've got some videos right here that you might like, so feel free to check them out. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay mellow, my fellows.